Yeah, well, one of my things that I really am passionate about, and I have no idea how I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it, is that my mission is to make real magic normal again. You know, like I believe it was in ancient Egyptian times.
Yes.
And to me, when I say real magic, I'm talking about the different modalities of intuition, psychic ability, energy work, energy magic, all those type of things. You know, because that's my world. That's what I do. That's what I play with. You know, all my friends have all these cool, unique abilities and whatnot. You know, but I want to open it up more to the world, not so that people could start power tripping and all that stuff, but when you start to develop your own intuition and psychic gifts, it gives you more compassion for others. It helps you understand people in deeper ways. It helps you play with life in more fun ways. You can communicate with other beings. You know, so I want to make magic normal again, just because that's what's fun for me, and I feel like I don't know. I just feel like that's the next wave of spirituality to come.
Definitely.
So you do teach classes and courses as well?
Yeah.
Because I remember at one point you were running Life Center with Rita Jade, so you were mentoring other empaths, mediums, psychics, whatever.
Yep.
Is that something that's going to continue in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of like the X-Men effect. You know, this is where me and Alex, this is where we have a mutual passion, where it's like we like the idea of taking people who know that they're gifted in some kind of way, you know, intuitives, empaths, and showing them how to further master their craft, kind of like Professor Xavier would do with the X-Men. So it's just a fun way of looking at it. But yeah, so I'm definitely continuing with that, because that's where I learn the most, and that's where I feel like I can most where I can serve the best. That's where I use my potential the best. You know?
Interesting. I think your soul incarnated in this body right now to just elevate us and to bring us. You might not see it with this body, but you will definitely help us evolve towards there.
I hope so. Thank you.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, because I feel like what's most fun for me, because I feel like my magic or my greatest gift is to bring out the gifts in others.
Yeah.
And then that's where I learn the most, because, you know, it's like if I could help you bring out more of your gifts or more of your gifts, you know, it's unique to what I have, and so and that's where I start to learn more about fire or learn more about connection or whatever case may be. And so yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's not like that's why I didn't want to. It's not a fluke that your guides are from that time, the Egyptian, because they.
Yeah, I told you about that. Okay, yeah.
We only get the guides we need in order to accomplish our mission.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, some people are more what's the word? Not attracted to. Some people will have more angels.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing, because that's where, you know, I guess their interests fall, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some people will have more just beings, you know, just
right,
guides.
Right.
You know,
more feelings.
Yeah,
more
people,
hearing.
Yeah, guides. You know, they don't have to be. You know, your guides could be what you feel. It could just be the synchronicity in your lives. It doesn't have to be the non-physical being that you're perceiving, kind of thing.
And I had another question. Why do you think you said you connect through heart?
Yeah.
So let's say you have a client or you meet someone and you're trying to help them and their heart is blocked.
Yeah.
So how do you unblock it?
Oh, I like that. That's like my favorite thing to do. So, if you remember earlier, I gave the example about intuition. How if you dated a douchebag, then later on in life you will easily be able to sense a douchebag intuitively, even before they speak.
Right.
Right. So because I was someone that went through the path of getting so disconnected from myself and disconnected from my heart and closing it up, and then going through the journey of reopening it and all that stuff. When I sit with someone who is where I used to be, you know, when I sit with someone who's not in their heart and who's too much in their head, I can feel all the reasons why. I could feel what they're blocking. I could feel what they're not seeing, and or I could see what they're not seeing. So yeah, for me, it's just a matter of stimulating it. You know, it's like something that's been made numb. So I'll start to stimulate it, make it more sensitive, and you'll start to be like, oh, it's true, I do have these feelings. And as soon as that starts to awaken, it gives resonance, and as it gives more resonance, it just breaks down the limitations of the mind as a side effect, and you automatically start to align with more of your higher self.
Do you find yourself in situations where you don't want to tell the person everything? Like sometimes will some of the information not be helpful to them?
It depends. If I'm just in a casual situation, I'll hold back things sometimes because I don't want to impose.
Or a paying client, I mean.
Yeah, a paying client, I never hold back. You know, I think the best thing I could do sometimes is make you uncomfortable, because that's kind of what you're paying me for. I'm not there to comfort you necessarily. I'm not there to be an asshole, you know, but I'm there to trigger you sometimes.
Go to the uncomfortable spots.
Yeah, but generally, it doesn't go that way. You know, generally I'm not like I'll find a fun way. I'll find a light way, a playful way of having you go through something painful, of having you go through a change so you don't even feel it as pain. You know, for example, I remember one time I did a healing on someone. I was doing a method that I developed called soul medicine. And this woman came to me and she was having flashes of these memories coming back, but she wasn't sure if they were real or not, but it was basically memories of her father raping her when she was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And so obviously something very traumatic, and she wanted me to help her heal, but at the same time she didn't even want to she'll remember if that was actually true, because she wasn't sure, you know, because she was getting glimpses, but she like wasn't sure if that actually happened, and she's like not sure if she really wants to know, because obviously her father's still in her life, but yet she wants the healing because she could feel that she has a pain.
Wow.
Tricky situation, right? It's a nice Rubik's Cube. And so, you know, so she came to me because she knew I did hypnosis, and she knew that, you know, I could help you recover lost memories and stuff like that. And so at first, when I started to approach it, you know, I just wanted her to feel the pain. You know, so, because you can't change what you don't accept, you know, and I always say feeling is healing. You know, so I just wanted her to feel that there was a pain there. And she got to feel it. And then instead of bringing her back, you know, usually what a hypnotherapist will do, if you know, so this is where intuition differs from technique.
Excellent.
So usually what a hypnotherapist will do at this point is they'll start to go back in your past, do a regression, you know, down, you know, so if the pain is feeling abused or whatever, or feeling shame, they'll go through your past and different times you felt shame until you get to the source memory, and you see that this thing really happened, and it's, you know, and it's pretty painful and dark and whatever. But it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right for me to go by the book in that sense. So instead what I did is I just started to see the magic in her. You know, I started to see that she has this part of her that loves, that's incredibly wise and that loves to inspire and that just understands things in a much deeper way. So I completely let go of the pain for a second. I said, okay, we've acknowledged the pain, but do you recognize that there's this part of you that loves to inspire, that loves to give, that has a deeper understanding of things, even deeper than other people understand, you know? And she's like, yeah, she recognized it. I'm like, good, let's connect with that part of you. We're going to call it your magic. Let's give her a name, Esmeralda, I think she said. And I had her connect with her magic in her own inner world, and she's playing and she's flying around and doing this kind of imagination game, if you will. And then at some point, once she gets into this state, you know, so first she started off heavy and in pain, and then I got her into a state of fun and playfulness. So from that higher vibration of fun and playfulness now, then I had her magic bring her back to whatever memory is most significant for her to see related to the pain. So with her magic, she went back and she saw the trauma thing, but she's in a state of playfulness. So now she's looking at it, and she saw that things really did happen, but she saw the higher purpose behind it because she was in a lighter state, and she's...
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so she saw that, you know, instead of going through the traditional way of the pain kind of thing, she saw the higher purpose that it served, which I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but she saw the higher purpose that it served, and she saw that, you know, she's way more powerful than she realized. So not only did she get the healing from that memory, but she connected to more of her power and her gifts by going through it a playful way, as opposed to the traditional technique way.
That's amazing, David. And I imagine that because you talked about a method, you named it, I forget.
Soul medicine.
Soul medicine?
Yeah.
But I imagine, like, your methods are different. They're very intuitive, very spontaneous, it's different every client, or it's just surprise every time?
No two sessions are the same. I don't have like you don't come and like, all right, so what are your challenges? What's your vision? Where are you stuck?
Your questions and
You know, as soon as it comes in, like when I sit with someone, I like to treat them as, you know, as if I'm the big brother, is the best way I could put it. You know, it's like, so it's very conversational. I want to get a feel for you. I want to build rapport with you. I want to build trust. And then wherever my feeling feels is where I'm going to go. You know, there's no set script or technique or anything. And that's what allows me to create techniques. That's what allows me to use my own technology to create techniques.
And some clients are easier, I'll put easier than others, or more... open, maybe? Is it the openness? Is it the heart? Is it...
Yeah, there's definitely... I screen my clients pretty well, especially now. You know, because I want people who are as committed to change as I am committed to helping them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, of course, there's ones who are more easy and more difficult. But that's where, like, my job is to remain in a playful state.
Right.
Whereas no matter what you give me, I do my best not to go too much into your world, because that's where the problem is. It's like, you talk about it, okay, but I stay in my playfulness. And even though you're saying, like, I need help with this, if I feel that there's something over here, I'm going to bring you this way, and somehow it ends up tying into everything. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want to talk a bit about soul medicine?
Soul medicine it's interesting because I didn't mean to create it. It's just something that literally just popped into my head. It was, so shortly after, it's a cool story actually. So when I first met Micheline, who's this psychic here in Montreal, she had told me that at some point I was going to be getting into healing. And this is back then. And when she told me that, I'm like, I don't want to deal with people's problems. I'm like, I have enough of my own problems, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I just took it for what it was worth. And, you know, and Alex had said the same thing, like, yeah, no, you're going to be helping people. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. And so what ended up happening one day is, I'm going to give you the raw version of this story, actually. So I went home, and I was just kind of reflecting on all these things of Micheline and Alex and helping people. And I went home, and then at one point I was just kind of dozing off on the couch. And as I was dozing off, like just before falling asleep, I saw these bright blue letters where I just saw the word soul medicine just pop in my mind. And I had no idea what it was, but I knew that's what I was meant to be doing. And so I just got excited about it. And it's almost like just that was the first piece of the puzzle that was given to me. And then as the days that followed, the rest of the pieces came in. Whereas at the time I was reading this book called The Law of One. It's the teachings of the sun god Ra. Great book if you haven't read it. And inside, it's basically like a questioner Ra. So the questioner asks Ra, you know, how do you release emotional baggage? How do you release karma, basically? And basically emotional baggage is what karma is, the grounded version of karma. And Ra said very simply, is like the way to permanently release all karma, all emotional baggage is 3 simple steps: understand, accept, forgive. And just reading that along with whatever else was in my mind at the time just clicked and made me understand what soul medicine was. It's receiving the medicine of your soul to heal you through going through the steps of understand, accept, forgive. And I've just basically developed it and adapted over the years, whereas in the beginning I would bring people through their pain and sometimes it wasn't pleasant, but now I go the playful route. I'm like, you know, pain could be fun. Why not? And so yeah, that's...
If you accept it, you forgive it.
So you're learning through your pain.
Of course.
Yeah, you know...
And we always have, like you say, David, we always have the choice to how we want to experience this pain. You can experience... And it's like dramatic, and you can experience pain in I don't know if maybe in a playful, but in a less dramatic and less...
Or even in a way where you're observing it.
Exactly, accepting it. I like
looking at it, accepting it, realizing that it did happen.
Well, what it is, at the end of the day, pain is pain, right? Pain is going to hurt. But if whether you experience that pain from a heavy victim state or a playful, more light state, makes all the difference. You know, so you're still going to experience the pain, but how you experience it, the frequency that you experience it from, makes all the difference.
I love that.
Yeah. And therefore, the higher the understanding and advancement.
Yeah.
And the quicker the pain, you know, the process becomes quicker.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, your process sounds like the person feels less like a victim and more like an observer, or allowing themselves to go through it.
Exactly, yeah. You know, and this is where I believe in, you know, one of the things that Thoth would teach me a lot about is teach through misdirection. You know, so instead of leading you straight to the pain, you're like, oh, that's your pain? Okay, let's go have fun. Why are we having fun? Oh, it doesn't matter, let's just go have fun. Bring you into this fun state, next thing you know, you're with your pain and you're in this playful state and you had this healing experience. But I misdirected you and I got you to, you know, to have whatever it is that you need.
Oh, sneaky.
Yeah, it's a magician
thing. Sneaky spirit guide.
Yeah, you know, I want to make things easy for people. I want to make things light and effortless for people, because pain sucks, you know, like, and sometimes change can suck. So, you know, like, I do my best to make it as fun as possible, so that it's not just something that that's bearable, but it's something that's desirable.
Wow. What a beautiful mission you have, just to bring fun in people's lives. And we say that what you give, you get back. So that makes your life really fun.
My life is awesome.
Yeah, I can
Your life is magic.
My life is awesome. I was thinking about this recently, because sometimes we take what we have for granted, and
Absolutely.
because you live your own life kind of thing. But what happened was, because I'm working with a new business coach and stuff, so he's having me like look at my life in different ways. And I had to kind of just stop and look at what I've accomplished for myself that is unique, or that that is uncommon, so to speak. And I saw I have complete creative freedom. I do what I want when I want. I wake up when I want. I work as much as I want. It's like sometimes once a month, sometimes once a week. But it's basically based on what I feel. But I realize like, those are the gifts of my life, and this is what I know how to teach people. Because I did it for myself. And it's so I do. I have a great life, and I'm really grateful for it.
And what's the main obstacle for people to get there? Is it, well, of course we're going to name like fear and resistance and stuff like that, but what's the core obstacle? Yeah, lack of
fun.
So you think that if we tap into our fun, like this whole freedom window will open? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because look,
that's how it works.
If you put it like, most people, when you work towards something too seriously, that's when you start to get stressed and anxious, and you're pushing, and it's not you're not being pulled. It's not just effortless. It's not fun. But when you act on your excitement or your joys or your passion or what's fun for you, that taps you into yourself, because that's the energy of yourself, right? And then life just becomes synchronistic. This is where one of the things that I like to teach people about, and that I'm passionate about, is teaching what I call the dance of life, and which is just another word for synchronicity. But I've lived my entire life through synchronicity, not through a plan. I didn't plan on meeting Drake. I didn't plan on learning hypnosis. I didn't plan on becoming an intuitive or anything that I've done. Everything's happened in my life through synchronicity, and I realize that's a unique strength of mine, because a lot of people have fear towards living the more, diving into the unknown and taking some kind of risks like that, So for me, it's about learning how to live synchronistically, and that's why my brand is called Living Magic, which is the opposite of living planned, basically.
Right, and synchronicity comes from letting go, and comes from tapping into that joy. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Exactly.
Just surfing that wave.
It comes from doing what you most feel like doing. I always, because there's people who are, let's say, foreign to spirituality. And I always give them this as a spiritual practice if they want to try it. This is my most basic spiritual practice, is what I call feel like versus have to.
Feel like versus have to.
Feel like versus have to. You might wake up in the morning and because of just the momentum you've built up in your life, you're like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, I have to do this. But what do you feel like doing? And this example from my own life, is like I'm okay, I'm a to-do list, I have these deadlines, but I really feel like just putting on an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I really feel like just taking a walk, or whatever case may be. And your mind will give you all the reasons and excuses as to why you shouldn't do that. But if you, consciously choose to follow the feel like, you're gonna, when you do what you feel like doing, you feel better, you feel like more of yourself, you feel lighter, you feel more excited, more inspired, and then naturally your have-tos turn into feel likes. So you're like, now I feel like doing the work.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, for sure.
And it can lead to synchronicities too, because you're open.
That's what this is the main principle behind the dance of life. Is I only do what I feel like doing. Only.
Tell that to my boss. Yeah.
and it's not easy for everyone to swallow. Because of course I live in I don't have kids. So I can't speak. I can't speak for everybody. But all I know is that if you do this, it works.
Or the more you can do it,
yeah.
Let's say if people do have those kind of responsibilities, the more you can do it, the more you can tap into synchronicity, even though you have responsibilities, kids or whatever.
No matter who you are, you can do it for 10 minutes a day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like Oprah or Tony Robbins say, like, if you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you could do it for 10 minutes a day, and then you see how much greatness it brings into your life, and then, you know, I'm going to do it an hour a day until you do it as your everyday.
And it's also a state of mind, I find. Like, it's also a way of just being.
100%, yeah.
So, like, because I'm thinking about what you said about people say, well, I have responsibilities, I have kids. Even if you have those things, or those, there's always a way you can even, there's a way of being even at your work. Even if, you know, you get to choose how you want to be in that work, even though it's not your favorite work, or you get to choose how you want to be, even though, anyways, so.
But, you know, but I feel like there are some subtleties to even the feel like versus have to thing. Because, you know, because I can imagine someone being like, well, I just feel like staying home all day and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, where's the limit between responsibility and...
See, that's where you're not, I believe you're not actually being true to what you feel like doing. There's a fear in the way. Because you might actually feel like, I don't know.
I want to go on a trip.
Going on a trip or performing for strangers or whatever the case may be, but there's a fear in the way, so you're going, well, no, I just feel like doing that. So when I say doing what you feel like, I mean really doing what you feel like, even in the face of fear, even in the face of whatever case may be.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's important to mention that little subtlety before I get some backlash.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's important.
Well, David, I want to thank you for coming down.